gosh, babe. It's so funny.
Girl, if I would have known you in high school, we would have about 6 of these kids.
Babe, stop. Okay, stop this. In this video.
Hey, it's Kia with KiaDoc's channel, and I'm back with another video. This one is about Russell Wilson and Ciara Wilson. Now, I put the clip in the beginning because I thought it was just so cute that Russell said that if he knew Ciara in high school, that they would have about 5 or 6 babies already. And it's so clever because I feel that's a little bit of some shade toward the men who believe that Russell Wilson is a beta male and that he wouldn't have been able to date Ciara back in high school, which is ridiculous from his point of view, because he put it out there like, if I knew you, I would have chosen you. And I'm sure she would have chosen him too, because he is definitely not a beta male. And I find that a lot of males are projecting their rejection from women back in their high school days, maybe college days, and projecting it onto Russell and Ciara in this situation, which is totally ridiculous. Now, Ciara did have a child before she got married, and it wasn't until after that relationship broke up that she found Russell Wilson and they dated. But if you recall, Ciara went through kind of like a makeover of sorts. She became very much more ladylike according to traditional standards. Her nail polish and color choices were very feminine. The way she positioned her body when she was around her husband is more of the submissive type position. She definitely submitted to his lead in a lot of ways. We see that in so many different ways. Ciara is just a submissive person, so wherever the male that she chooses does or ask of her, she is more willing to do. And that's why we saw her being more what you would say urbanized when she was with the rappers. But now that she's with someone who's a family man, that this is what she always wanted. She always wanted this lifestyle, but she couldn't get that with the men that she was selecting. So she decided, instead of trying to change a man, which you can never do, and she thought a baby would change him, and no, it does not. Especially a man who already has a bunch of kids. But she decided, okay, I'm not going to be able to change the man, but let me find someone who I'm compatible with, that I would be able to we will have the same goals and the same desires as far as raising a family. So this new no makeup or low makeup, very feminine, submissive Ciara that we are getting now, who has more of a pop sound to her music as opposed to the R&B and urban rap sound that we're used to, she has completed wife school. And I'm not saying she paid anybody to teach her wife school, but I'm just saying she changed her image so that she can be the traditional wife, to catch the husband that she caught, someone on Russell's level. She went through a transformation. Russell was not going to really necessarily date someone who was into that rap scene, but he would marry, obviously, a woman who did certain things to make herself more agreeable to being led by her husband. Now, these gender roles were very common. Of course, in the 50s, they really taught these roles, in magazines and the movies and the TV shows reinforced these roles, that the woman was, the stay-at-home mother, and she took care of the children, and she had the house spotless, and when the husband came home, he was so happy. And all of this images that we were seeing really weren't accurate, because we know if you have been a mother or father who stayed at home with their children, it is tough work, and you're constantly cleaning all day. It's very tiring. You don't even have 5 minutes to yourself sometimes, especially when you have young children. So it was very it was impossible almost for most people to uphold these standards. So what they did was they hired help, and that help was usually black women. And black women left their homes and went into these white homes, helped them prepare for their husbands. But when it was time for that black woman to go home, she didn't have anything else left to give. And we see that that's not just a time period that is unique to black people, because we see that now with Latino workers, and we see that in different countries like the Middle East. They get workers from India, South India. So this is a very common practice, and we have regular working people looking to households that are rich. You have the means to be able to hire help, so you are in a different category than the regular traditional people. So no, your lifestyle is not going to look like Leave It to Beaver or Fatherhood Knows Best. Your lifestyle is going to look a lot different. Even Brady Bunch, they had help. All of these shows that we've seen, some were more accurate than others, but you see that the woman didn't do it on her own. So if being a housewife is so easy, why didn't they do it on their own? And why do you think a job that a woman can't do on her own is okay if a black woman did 2 jobs, worked outside the house and worked inside the house? It's literally impossible. In the feminist movement, that was really women who were working class white women. That was not led by rich women. They're cool. These are the same rich people that voted, rich women that voted for Trump, are the same ones who were against feminism. The people that were for feminism were women who did not have a lot of money, didn't come from money, and they couldn't marry into money for whatever reason. People still seem to uphold these traditional values, even though it was an illusion. These women weren't able to stay immaculate in the best shape and always flawless without help. They had plenty of help. They had help with their children. They had help with their household duties. So we're talking about people from, like, in the black community, such as like a Beyonce or a Ciara. Like, they can maintain this image because they have a lot of help with their other duties that they are required to do as a mother, as a wife, as a woman. So it's very ironic that a lot of men are angry, that I'm seeing all over the internet, angry at Ciara for making this transformation. However, and I guess the reason why is because they don't feel that it's real. However, they are willing to force this on other women. So somehow you believe that women of a lower income, that are in a lower bracket, would be able to change. However, a woman of Ciara's caliber is not able to change. And that just doesn't seem right to me. This next clip is really going to drive home a point that I support when people say they're against feminism, and this is the type of attitude that I am against. This clip is a clip of Florida and James Evans before they had their show, and this is when Florida was working for the white couple and how she was displaying her ego and very against her husband and his wishes, because she personally wanted to work because it gave her pride to clean someone else's home. And I find it unrealistic that she would find pride in cleaning someone else's home, but she couldn't find pride in cleaning her own home or being there for her husband when he got off of work. So just because she was able to bring home a little bit of money, she convinced herself that it was a good idea that she was away from her husband, not home for him when he came home from working a job, especially because she didn't need to do it. If she needed to do it, then I can understand that. However, her husband is saying, I have a job, I can work, I can hold down that part. I just need you home as my wife to help that part of my life, to help with my children, so that when I get off from work, I can be rejuvenated so I can go back out there the next day. But Florida showed her ego in this clip, and you will see that here. And if this position was a position that only she could do, that was highly technical, that was something that she was very good at, that she had to work hard to receive the credentials to do this job, then that would be different. That's a different type of feminism that I'm all for. That's the type that's saying, despite the fact that I'm a woman and you think that I'm biologically only able to have children and be at home, I have a mind and I want to do something else other than that. That is a appropriate type of feminism. But when you leave your home to do a menial job for another family, then that should only be done when you don't have another choice. But she did have another choice.
When your wife has everything my wife has, she'll still complain.
All women, I tell you, I don't understand them. But especially you white women. You sit up here in your nice world, and instead of enjoying the things you got, you're worrying yourself sick about some women's rights. Well, let me tell you, baby, I'm Ebony. In the world I grew up in, the black man couldn't even get a job. So the woman went out and worked and supported the family. And quiet as it's kept, none of us never wanted it that way. And some of us don't have to have it that way, like me. Now, I got a J.O.B. and a good one. And if I have to work 2 jobs, then I will. Because I am no longer going to be the husband of a black maid.
Hey, you people ain't gonna be sucked in by that jive.
Florida, he knows what he's talking about. He's black.
And what do you think I am, sundan? You ain't listening to a black problem woman. You listening to a male ego.
Oh, now wait a minute, Florida.
Oh, Henry, you wait a minute. Now, you hurt because of your pride, and I love you for that. But I also resent you for not being just as proud of me as I am of you.
I am proud of you, Florida. It's just that I don't want you to be a maid no more.
Them two don't go together, Henry. Your mother was a maid. That's how your brothers got through school and you got to be a fireman. My grandmother was a maid. That's how my daddy got a little schooling. There are a lot of women, Henry, on both sides of my family who worked all their lives in white kitchens so their kids could get some of the things they should have. You want to be proud of something, Henry? You be proud of them, because they was all black women. And I tell you, there ain't never been a better woman than that.
I am pro-black feminism, pro-womanism, but I'm against what was happening in this clip. Florida Evans went against the good of the family for no apparent reason other than her own ego, which is funny that she said James was displaying the ego, but it was really her ego that caused her to go against her husband's wishes and take this job. Now, if she needed the job because they didn't have enough money in the household, like her grandmother did, like her mother did, that's one thing. Of course, be proud about that. However, she did not need to do that. The irony in this situation is that Florida chose a domestic job and she did not need the money. So she left her home and her domestic obligations to her own home to fulfill the obligations for another woman, so that woman's husband can come home to hot cooked meals and a beautiful wife who is not stressed out. Instead of doing that for her own home, she did that for another man and another woman, which is totally not what feminism should be about. Feminism is not the right to work. Feminism is the right to fulfill your dreams and your goals without being restricted because of your gender. Womanism is about exploring more than just your biological functioning as a woman, of being a nurturer or of being the bearer of children. It is about your own personal goals, but not at the expense of your family. It's about finding that proper balance. It is not in a woman's nature to oppose her husband if it is a healthy marriage. The marriage and the family and the goals of the family should always come first. That is the natural order of things. However, media and propaganda and programming made it appear that that's not the way it is. So anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you got what I was trying to give you out of this video, and please come back, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button while you're all there, because then you'll be notified when I upload new videos. Thank you so much. Peace.